There we go. All right. Where did I put my notebook? There it is. All right. All right. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and start now. So this issue picks up directly where the last one ended. With Rick, finding out he's blind and telling everybody. And it is right immediately because you're getting their reactions and everything to his statement. He admits to Lisa that it's actually an issue he's been dealing with for a while, and that he has been trying to find workarounds for it, but it's been to no avail. He keeps having the issues, and it says, I screwed up, and everything that happens now is my fault, which is a very non-Rick thing to do, but I appreciate it. He's growing up right before our very eyes. But on the next page, Azonia congratulates Britai on the capture of the Micronians, saying it's more impressive than if he had done it right the first time. And Lisa comforts Rick. She's like, hey, look, I'm the one that said we should go back to Mars. Anything that happens isn't your fault, it's mine. Which, again, I appreciate. She is the captain. She should be going down with the ship. She also should not be going on away missions, but that is neither here or there. And then the Zentradi flagship is beautifully drawn, and I wanted to have that as the picture. But I cannot ignore the Halo Covenant door that Miria and the two guards are going through. I saw it and I was like, that looks an awfully lot like, so I went through and sure enough, it's almost identical to the doors, at least on High Charity in Halo 2. So, yeah, let's try to keep possible lawsuits to a minimum, guys. Thanks. I like this franchise too much for there to be issues like that. So, as Lisa's comforting Rick, which, by the way, side note, that is really, other than a couple things here and there, that's really the first interaction we've had between Lisa and Rick in this comic series. Yeah, they had the little interaction at the very beginning before he was a pilot. And then we had the promotion thing, but outside of those two things, there's nothing. That's it. So that interaction is nice. It's needed, you know. Even with them changing everything, you know, there still needs to be some interactions. Hey Juan, how are you doing? So, oh yeah, Max and Miria. Max is a little down there, little guy, and then Miria. First meeting between the two. So that's a thing that also happened. Rick and Lisa are chosen out of the group to go talk with Dolza. And I'm trying to figure out what these do the Zentradi just have random sticks with chains on them for any Micronians that they might come across? Because it seems awfully convenient that they had those. I kind of was just confused at this page that they had that device to bring the two against their will without hurting them. Yeah, Lisa, on that same page, not Lisa, Claudia is worried because she still has not heard from Lisa or Rick or anybody else from the party. So they so she asks where Roy is. She's told Roy is interrogating T.R. Edwards. And then we get interaction with Roy and T.R. Edwards, and Edwards still is a bit of a mystery. I mean, he's kind of a mystery in any Robotech property you're talking about, but or any, you know, but this one he's very cryptic. He doesn't ever say anything that gives you any information. It's a little annoying, actually, that nothing he has said as of yet gives any indication of story or any hints of story or anything like that. It's just very cryptic, and I mean, I don't necessarily mind it, but it's kind of like at some point he has to give something. And it's been 3 issues now since he was introduced, so come on. Give us a little bit, a tidbit of something. But he did tell Roy, you know, you're going to free me, or I'm going to open a couple doors and all of your skeletons are going to fall out of it. Now, are those skeletons relating to the SDF-1 investigation after it first crashed? Because we still haven't gotten anything since issue 4 on the crash itself. We've gotten like tidbits and hints, but we haven't really gotten anything significant since issue 4 when we saw the bodies that happened to look like the current crew of the SDF-1. So that's still something that's out there. It'd be interesting to figure it out. Again, I still don't think Roy is the one that killed Global, so I don't think that is one of his skeletons. But who knows? Um, uh, on that same page, Snoke Dolza again begins his investigation. Still 5 times taller than the Zentradi, who are already 40 feet tall, so don't understand why that is. But, Lisa asks him who he is. He answers and is like, you will not talk from now on unless spoken to. It's like, come on, guy. But, anyway. Oh, yeah. He asks about the protoculture matrix and their use of protoculture, which, we know they have. We obviously know, having watched and read all the other types of content from this series. Hey, get down. No. This is not happening. Get down. There we go. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. That's gonna annoy me. All my valuables are up there. Anyway, so we know from all the Robotech material that has ever been released that the protoculture matrix is in fact on the SDF-1, and we know that they are in fact using protoculture, even if they don't know what protoculture is. But as per every other source material, Lisa's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Protoculture, what's that? I don't know. And so they start getting mad that she says, I don't know what it is. What are you talking about? And then Dolza starts to threaten her and motions towards what could happen to her, and Rick grabs her and pulls her away. And the Zentradi, they're all like, ew, cooties. They're kind of like, why are they touching? Why are they interacting? In fact, I have the picture, which I can access right now. Oh, first, yeah, the Invid. Yeah, they hint at the Invid again, which I'm not opposed to. I like how they've been connecting everything. They've done a really good job of connecting everything, except as I was taking notes on this, I noticed we've seen the Invid, we'll get there, but twice now we've actually seen Invid in the comics, and they've been hinted throughout this comic series. But we haven't gotten anything about the Masters, which is very curious to me. What's going on with the Robotech Masters? What's their story in this series? It's going to be interesting to figure that out. They have to, at some point, start connecting to the Robotech Masters saga, too, if they're going to use it whatsoever. And I think they should use it, because there is some very interesting stuff in the Robotech Masters that they could use and turn into a really good story. There was a little bit there that you could take from the Masters that was really, really good. And with this comic series, you can expand on it. But like I said, they haven't talked about the Robotech Masters at all, which I'm I don't know what that's about. But yeah, so there's them going, they're touching you, gross. And Azonia ends up getting a plan from this. She's like, well, they seem to this primitive. I forget the term she used. This primitive emotion they have, where they need to, where they feel for each other. We can use that. We can use that right against them. Yeah. So they decide to do that. But first, we get a nice little page, finally, of my boys, Rico, Conda, and Braun. Although, side note, they got the names mixed up in one of the panels. Braun addresses Rico as Conda, and then Rico then addresses Braun as Rico. So, not a big deal, minor thing. I'm okay with it, but it's there. Also, Minmay's design, at least this is the first time we've seen Minmay in almost 2 issues. And her design seems different than her design in the previous issues. It's I don't know, it just looks a little bit different. And there's another page where there's some art that looks a little different, which we'll get to here in a little bit too. But I just found that interesting because it's clearly Minmay. Same Chinese waitress outfit she wore in a previous issue. And as they note, they're like, the main attraction seems to be that dark-haired girl. Like, it's clearly Minmay. It's supposed to be Minmay, but it doesn't look like the Minmay in past issues. Not a bad thing, actually. I think this is a much more supple-looking Minmay than the other Minmay, which was a little bit more defined, I guess. Is that what I mean? But then we get Max and Miria fight, the first one, and it covers the next 3 pages. And during the fight over the next 3 pages, Lisa intermittently tries to tell them, hey, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't know what's on the ship. We literally just fixed it. That's it. We don't know anything. What are you talking about? What's protoculture? What's this protoculture matrix? We don't know. But obviously it doesn't work throughout those 3 pages. And then we get Claudia coming into the interrogation room, relieving the individual that was watching from behind the one-way window or mirror, or whatever you call it. And she witnesses Roy punch Edwards, and she's like, what? So she has him locked up again, and then she kind of does her own like little interrogation of Roy, and they have a little bit of a moment. And this is the page I'm talking about during this interaction between Roy and Claudia, that it's almost seems like the art style itself kind of changes for this page. I don't know, it just kind of seemed different than like Claudia's hair and facial features kind of seem a little different than they were on the previous page. But they kind of have a little bit of a moment to themselves where, you know, Roy's like, sorry, he just pushes my buttons. He just gets under my skin and just digs. And she's like, so you do have buttons. And then she informs him that they still haven't heard from Lisa and crew. And kind of like, you probably have a backup plan to this situation, don't you? And he goes, yeah, I do. She's like, I thought so. Kind of walks off while he starts doing his thing. So it wasn't a huge moment between the two, but it was nice to kind of see this interaction after her discovery of what seems to be Roy choking Global and then again punching Edwards, and kind of this strained relationship that they're in right now. It's nice to get those character moments, you know? And then we go back to Max and Miria fight, which is still continuing. Miria ends up ripping off his arm, as you can see. His Battloid's arm. Which, by the way, didn't the Battloids get destroyed? I thought for sure that, like, they were all destroyed. They were at least pretty mangled up. And the Battloid that Max was using didn't seem that mangled at all. So did they just capture another Veritech? Like, I'm not sure. It's curious to me. But anyway, she rips off his arm. And, let's see. Oh, yeah. She rips off his arm and, Lisa once again begs. She pleads and actually says, I beg you to stop this fight. And to which Azonia is astonished. She's like, your comrade is putting up an honorable fight. You would taint his sacrifice by this. And during this interaction, I love Azonia's facial reaction. That's something that we kind of didn't get a whole lot of towards the beginning, was like emotions. But this was a great like little emote that they put on Azonia's face, and I really like it. I think that was a nice little touch. This kind of shocked and angry face about the whole situation. Let's see. Oh yes, I literally have in my notes, Max talks romance while choking Miria. This is Max. I know throughout this fight you've been flirting with her, but literally talking about romance while choking her, not the best move, buddy. Not the best move. Again, great emotion on Miria's face at this moment when he's choking her. But yeah, come on, Max. Like, seriously, buddy. No. Just no. It's a little bit cringeworthy at that moment. And then Max gets thrown out of the ship, and the others in Trada, Britai, X-Door, all of them are kind of like, oh man, I guess that was fun while it lasted, that kind of sentiment where it's like, oh, that was pretty fun. Too bad we can't do it again. And Azonia has the next man up mentality. She's like, Miria's just getting warmed up, and there's 3 more to go. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Man, I'm kind of breezing through this. I didn't think that it would be this quick. Oh yeah. So Roy and two wingmen get equipped for the Super Veritech add-on, and they're rushing to Mars to investigate what happened to Lisa and Vermilion Squad. And he's like, Dr. Lang, I hope these are as good as you say. He's like, oh, Roy, these will exceed your expectations. You will not be disappointed whatsoever. But then we get the big reveal of the comic, and that's the Regis. One of the Invid scientists is telling her, hey, we detected protoculture nearby. So that's happening. And so it looks like she's treating, doing her evolutionary experiments. I think that's what those are, some sort of eggs. Because we know that's what she does. We know she likes to tinker with that. But yeah, this was a pretty good issue. I really did enjoy it. I feel like each new issue I go through a lot faster. Like I read through it a lot faster than the previous one. And then it seems like each issue, the wait gets longer and longer before I get another issue. But they... Oh. New art. All right. I wonder if that's where some of the issues. I'm wondering if he began a little bit on this issue, because there are a couple different things in this particular book that I was like, this issue where I was like, that seems new. That seems different. That could be it. He could have kind of dipped his toes in a little bit with this issue and is taking over next issue. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this series. It's kind of like I just finished season 6 of... Yeah, I love the Regis, but where's the Masters? There's been no mention of them, and there's so many things they could do. I just finished season 6 of Voltron, and that in this series so far is exactly how you would want a reboot, where it's like, it's not the same, but there's enough familiar elements that you're still invested even though it's not the same. Oh yeah, the novel stuff was great. And then the adding Laszlo Zand, yeah, that would Laszlo Zand, man, that would be interesting if they added him towards the end of the Macross section of this run. I was looking at the next few issues, as far as the, what's coming up. Can you believe that at the end of this, they're doing 4-issue sections. Yeah, I recommend the Netflix Voltron to anybody. It's a great reboot. But yeah, no, they're doing the comics in 4-issue packs. And issue 12 will come out at the 1-year anniversary of, or not the anniversary, but the 1-year mark of this comic series, which is incredible to me to think about that. We're almost at 1 year for the comic series being around. That's just, that blows my mind that it's been going on that long. And we're oh, issue 12? Okay. So, Henry Presetia, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, but that is going to take over issue 12. Yeah, we're not even through what amounts to the second DVD, so we're still not through like what amounts to the first 12 episodes of the show event wise, and it's almost been a year. That's incredible to think about. Hopefully Harmony Gold can keep their can renew that license and get over this and find a way to bridge the gap with this new management team at Tatsunoko. But so this can continue. But yeah, I am loving this series so far. It's what you want in a reboot. I honestly, like, I watched the original Power Rangers and then I kind of got out of it. So I haven't followed any recent Power Rangers or Power Rangers comics, but I'm sure that so far Titan Comics has earned the benefit of the doubt, so I'm sure he's done a fantastic job in everything he's done. So it's interesting though that they've kind of been grabbing from similar franchises. Like he did work with Power Rangers, and the previous guy did work with Transformers. Or the writers done work with Transformers, sorry. But it's interesting that they're grabbing from somewhat similar franchises, which isn't too bad. Man, that went really quick. And sorry for the delay. Yeah, I'll check them out. Right now, I am working on getting an A+ certification. So I have to purchase a couple tests, and each test is almost $200. So even if I buy a voucher, we're still talking for both tests, I'd be paying $300. So right now I'm not in the monetary position to pick them up. But once I'm done with that, not only will I have more time for these videos on my channel and everything, but I definitely will have more money to pick up stuff like that and like other Robotech memorabilia and everything. So keep looking for that. I got tired of my current job. Management's, yeah. Yep, I want to pick up the some of the Star Wars comics too, so it's kind of like gotta wait. This is a priority since I'm already invested in these comics, so like I budgeted it out to pick up this one. But yeah, I my current job, it's getting worse and worse. Management's each consecutive manager they've hired has gotten worse and worse, and it's just like I just got to get out of there before it gets too bad. So I picked up the book, and yeah, I'm pretty close. I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the summer. So anyway, I'm sure you're done hearing me ramble. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I watch a podcast called Jedi Council, and they talk about the books a lot and the comics and everything. And people may not be happy with Disney's movies, but the books and the comics have been pretty good. I'm halfway through Bloodline, and I read all of a Rogue One Catalyst. So, and then I read the Lando comics, or the comics I read. So, anyway, thanks for joining me, Juan, and whoever else is watching. I will see you guys next time there's a comic comes out. So, I gotta go check on my daughters. So I will check you guys later.